I have all these green tomatoes from our yard that I'm not sure what I'm going to do with, so I'm going to blanch them so that I can peel them. The others I already chopped up and put in baggies for smoothies. Okay, I'm going to show you how we make smoothies rather than buying those expensive smoothies in the store. We generally just have an assembly line and we make up these baggies. Sometimes we'll go out and buy stuff just to make these baggies. Sometimes I just use up the things right before they spoil in my refrigerator. But I see this one has like cucumbers, tomatoes, bananas, blueberries, strawberries, peaches, just a variety of things, and we just assembly line them and put them in baggies and freeze them. So that's going in. And then I had some chopped green tomatoes from our yard. I had green tomatoes from our yard and I didn't know what to do with them, so I chopped them up and froze them. So we're going to add some of them, not all of those, but some of them to our smoothies. Thought he was going to add too much. And then we always add usually vanilla Greek yogurt. You see how much one little baggie of fresh fruits and vegetables make? Whoa, that's way too much. That's way more than I add. And then whatever kind of liquid you want. Sometimes we do juices, but this time we're going to add milk. And we do have a Vitamix blender. And just like that, you have more smoothie than two people can drink in one morning. And all from that little bitty bag. And it's all healthy, whole foods. So I'm going to be sharing how I food prep this week and do it different than in the last video. In the last video, I food prepped and put complete meals into small containers. The other method that I do is just to food prep the individual ingredients and then to mix and match them when I go to put my food together. So that's the way we're going to do it this time. The green onions that were from my garden, I didn't know what to do with, have been all cut up and put into one jar. The rest of them are cut up and in the freezer bag for smoothies. Not sure what I'm going to do with them, but they are food prepped. So here's the rest of the vegetables, plus some canned green beans that I have. I've got some onions. I got some more onions over here. Spinach, cabbage, carrots, broccoli, and I have some sweet potatoes and some regular potatoes. So it usually takes me about an hour and a half to food prep for the entire week. So I have some basmati oats and lentils. I've never tried this before, and I'm following the directions. I'm going to make the whole package, and I have some tortellini that's dried, and I got 2 pans of water going for each of those. So here's where I'm at. I've cut up the broccoli and I've put it in 2 jars. Now I don't know what I'm going to be making with all this stuff, but the idea is that you never put fresh fruits and vegetables in the refrigerator not cut up or cooked, ready to go. So I've cut up the cabbage, put it on parchment paper. I'm going to sprinkle it with some olive oil and salt and pepper and put it in the oven. The oven's warming up. The lentils are in here. The tortellini's in here. My husband loves this hamburger and potatoes thing, so we're going to make that for him. But I'm going to make extra ground beef to put in a jar for later in the week. Got some bacon started. My back burners are not as powerful as the front ones, so when these 2 are done in about 10 minutes, I'll move the other 2 pans to the front. Of course, you can't have bacon, can't live without bacon because bacon makes everything better, you know? I know it's not healthy, but hey. Okay, so here is where I'm at. I have the lentil in a jar all cooked. The tortellini wouldn't fit in one, so it's in 2 jars. My husband is so kind to be skinning some carrots for me. I do have the butternut squash on the tray, getting ready to be roasted. The ground beef is done, getting ready to drain it and separate it. Save some and then make the famous hamburger and potatoes for hubby. Bacon's still working. It's now in the front. Most of it's done. And I have some milk warming in the back, and I'm getting ready to stir some milk and flour up to mix, and I'm going to put that in there to make cheese sauce, because everything always tastes better with cheese sauce. I mean, like, the broccoli tastes better with cheese sauce, the tortellini tastes better with cheese, everything, okay? So I make cheese sauce, and I'm going to get some cheese and cut it up, some real cheese. So I've cut up the pearl onions. Everybody needs roasted pearl onions. And 1 sweet potato and 4 of the peeled carrots. But he's doing some potatoes. There's the meat ready for the week. Bacon is still working on it. That's getting thick. I need to hurry up and get my chicken done. And this is the hamburger and potatoes. I wasn't going to do this, but that's how it works with cooking, because hubby bought stuff for biscuits and milk gravy. So I set the bacon grease aside for that. Carrots, got a jar out. I'm getting ready to cut them up. The cheese, I've got mozzarella, fontanella, and creamy Havarti. Just this. The other stuff I'm putting back in the fridge is going to go in the milk gravy. And I've gonna put some more meat on here. Bacon done. Potatoes are in here with a package of gravy mix. Now, I don't like packaged stuff, but this is what hubby ate when he was little. It's his comfort food, hamburger and potatoes. So we're making it. Okay, bacon is packed away. Carrots are up there. There was too much, so I put some in a baggie. I'm running out of jars. I waited till the end to cut up the chicken, because you don't want anything on that board after the chicken. And I'm seasoning meat. I have meat in this one. Cheese sauce. Oh man, does that not look good? And when those potatoes are done, that's going to be done. I keep forgetting to show you, these came out of the oven, the cabbage, and these things, who didn't tell me that the single leaves were like chips? Oh man, so good. And the other vegetables are in the oven. I keep waiting for them to be done roasting, but they're not. I almost forgot I had this spinach, so I need to wash it up. And my meat is resting. I'm going to cut it up and put it in a container. That's a lot of yummy cheese sauce. I, on a whim, decided to make some pinwheel sandwiches. I have these spinach herb tortillas, a little bit of turkey, some American sliced cheese, and this parsley sauce that I made with parsley from my yard. It's actually parsley cheese. It is so good. It's got garlic in it too. And chicken is still waiting. Hamburgers are almost done. Hamburger and potatoes are done. I've been munching on this. Those are so good, that cabbage. And there's the roasted veggies ready to get packed up. All that color, doesn't it look good? Cutting up the meat into pieces for the container. I have to do those yet. Got another tortilla going on, and hubby has got some cornbread with honey and his hamburger and potatoes. He's getting ready for dinner. I was hoping to have it all out on the counter so you could see together, but some of that meat had to get in the refrigerator. So here is the butternut squash. It's so good. I had to munch some of it. The roasted carrots. Look how tiny they got. 4 carrots. The pearl onions. The steam. The the sweet potatoes. The chicken's done. The cabbage is in here, and I'm making some roux for the milk gravy because he wanted some. And we're just short of 2 hours. Normally I'd be done, but I'm making this milk gravy. Milk gravy didn't take too long to make. Hubby has biscuits he can stick in the oven. He'll love that. And especially with the bacon, it's going to go in that jar. And after all that, I said, what in the world am I going to eat for supper? So I have a little bit of the grains. I have some chicken from the crock pot from a few days ago. Butternut squash, cabbage, just in a bowl of comfort. A little bit of that cheese sauce that I'm going to pour over the rice mixture, whatever it is. And check out this. It's new to me anyway. It's a tea infuser. It's got a filter at the top, and you just put your tea in there and infuse it. It is so good. It's my new favorite thing. Okay, the idea of these videos is to share what I create with my food prep. So I shared with you what I ate on Saturday. Today is Sunday. I had nothing for breakfast, and I decided I needed to do something with those green tomatoes I had cooked up. So I put them in the blender, and I put 2 small whole onions and about 5 cloves of garlic. And here's what's left over. I'm going to have to put that in a container. It's like you get rid of something by making more leftovers. But I put some carrots, and I had some leftover steak from earlier in the week that I had made in the crock pot. So last week's meat is all gone. And I had some leftover white garbanzo beans. And I cut up some of the food prep carrots a little bit more, and I put salt, pepper, cumin, and adobe seasoning. Cumin and adobe seasoning make everything taste better, even green tomatoes. So I also have some of the tortilla that I made in there. I did not have to put this on the stove for very long. And so that's lunch with some Yaupon tea. Typical breakfast for me. I just tuck them in the side pocket of my purse and take them to work. And I keep 6 hard-boiled eggs at all times. When they get empty, like today, I just throw this out on the counter to remind myself to boil 6 more. So the tomato soup was so delicious yesterday, but the tomatoes and the acidity affect my stomach, and I was afraid of that, and that's why I've quit eating tomato sauce. So I'm going to have to get creative with more ways of using it because I have that much left. I'm going to put some in the freezer. I've been putting some meats in the freezer that I've cooked up because I figured out I cooked way too much. So, since I didn't eat dinner last night, I only had a little popcorn, which only loaded me up some more. I am having some of the lentil with the sweet potatoes and cabbage that I roasted, a little bit of 2 slices of bacon, and I put a little bit of the soup in here for flavor. It's actually looking pretty good. And there's some steak in there. So that's lunch. Monday past dinner time, and I'm not hungry, but I have the munchies, and I probably shouldn't eat, but these pinwheel sandwiches are calling my name, and so I've got some broccoli with some dressing as well, so I can munch while I do my Bible study. Tuesday morning breakfast. When it's Tuesday at lunch and you realize you've food prepped enough for 2 weeks. Yeah. So put more meat into the freezer so it doesn't go bad. And lunch is some steak, some of those roasted pearl onions, some of those roasted carrots, and some broccoli, and a little bit of that cheese sauce everywhere because cheese sauce makes everything good. And this is a ton of food, and yet it's so little food. Okay, dinner is some chicken, 2 pieces of bacon, the butternut squash, the lentils, and a little bit of the parsley sauce. Wednesday lunch, I have the rest of the sweet potato that I've warmed up and some of the turkey cheese rolls. So I had all that green tomato concoction I've been making all week that I needed to do something with, and I strained some of it off because I realized I had so much of it and put it in the freezer, and I still had a bunch left. So I came up with this idea. They're like chicken pot pies. So I had some pie shell in the freezer, and I just broke it up and I put it in the pots and with the concoction, baked it up. So it just keeps changing and making different meals as I'm inspired. Kind of weird, funny. That's how I work. Had an egg and an orange for breakfast on Thursday. And then they brought donuts to the break room, so I had a donut, and I'm absolutely not hungry, but I feel like I need to eat up some of this food, so this is it. So I'm needing to eat up the roasted vegetables before they go bad, because this is Thursday night dinner. So there's the rest of the cabbage in a bowl, some butternut squash, the rest of the onions, and some chicken. So breakfast was an egg and an orange again, and here's lunch on Friday. There's rice in the bottom, broccoli, chicken, and that cheese sauce. It looks so good. Can't wait to dive in.